Let's learn how to save our projects. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to unity.com and sign into your Unity account. I'm assuming you have one, but if you don't, make one real quick. Cool, so let's get us signed in. Awesome, and once we're signed in, you're going to want to click the same icon, but it should be either your profile picture or your initials if you're, I guess, username. Then you're going to click on organizations, and here you'll see your library of virtual studios. But if you haven't made one yet, click add new. That's going to be important for this. And once you've added a new organization, you're going to hop back into Unity. I have a project here called Get Good. That'll make more sense later. You're going to want to click on this sun icon right here at the top right. You're going to click on this to start the collaborate window. I had it open right here, but once this is open, you're going to click Set Project ID. All right, so once you click on Set Project ID, this window is going to pop up and it's going to take you directly to your project settings and specifically under the Collaborate tab. So if you have the Unity Collaborate package already installed, you're going to get this menu. If not, it's going to prompt you to install it. So once it finishes installing, you're going to want to sign in if you already haven't signed in, and you're going to go here where you select your organization. You're going to select the organization that you made. For this one specifically, I'm going to select Zach's Boredom, and you're going to click Create Project ID. And then it's going to do a whole bunch of magic, and you're going to turn on Collaborate like this, and you're done. So after that, oh, I guess we're not done. It's happening. It's doing a thing. Give it a second. Oh boy, the anticipation's killing me. Here we go. All right, now it's done. And it's going to do its first commit. Cool. So now that we have that all set up, every time you make a change to your project, all you have to do is click this if you don't have the Collaborate window open already. And when I say click this, I mean a little sun. And it's going to show you all the files that specifically changed this update. So for example, it recently added the scenes metadata, the sample scene that we already have open, as well as the sample scene metadata. And down here, you can just type whatever you want, usually pertaining to the update. So I'm going to say first commit, kind of, because it's kind of like the second commit. I'm going to click publish, and now that backs it up to the Unity Cloud, and you can do that whenever you want. This is super easy because it's built directly into the engine, and I'm pretty sure it has unlimited storage, or at least from what I heard, but we're going to have to, do some research on that. But it doesn't have original storage. GitHub's the one we're going to be doing next. It doesn't have unlimited storage, but it has a lot more customization options. Thanks, Microsoft, for acquiring this and giving us unlimited repository access. So the first thing you need to do is log into your GitHub account. But if you don't have one, make a GitHub account. Super easy, takes like 2 seconds, and if you're a student, you get free stuff. Awesome, do that. All right, so once you finish making your GitHub account, you're going to head over to desktop.github.com and click this gigantic purple button to download the GitHub desktop app. It's going to take you through the whole process of downloading a new application. All right, once you finish downloading the application, this should open up here, and if you're lucky, it'll set you up in dark mode, but I'll show you how to do that later. It's going to prompt you to sign into your GitHub account, and once you click that, it's going to take you to the browser where you can just sign in with your newly created GitHub account. And once that's done, you're going to want to snap back to your application here. And you're going to want to click this little drop down menu in the top left corner. This is where we're going to create our repositories. So I already have a bunch of them built in because I've just used this for backing my projects. But for our first one, or for this example repository, we're going to click this add button right here and click create new repository. And this is pretty much like a little personal Google Drive for our computer. That's like the worst possible way of saying this, but this is going to allow us to have like a very specified container to back up our projects across the cloud and on our computer. So for our example project where we call it Get Good, we're just going to call it Get Good. And if you're making a name with a space in it, it's going to add a little dash automatically. For our description, we're going to say example project. We're going to set our local path. For me, it's going to be in users, team C, documents, projects, Unity projects. But if you have a different folder, just click the choose here. You can initialize the repository with a README, which is like an introductory file for anyone who wants to check out your repository. Because this is an example project, I'm not going to do that. And right here, these are pretty important. Your git ignore pretty much tells GitHub to ignore like the bajillions of files that Unity creates every time you open or close a project. So for a Unity project, we're going to look for the Unity option. It's going to be near the bottom for you. And you can do the same thing for the Unity, Unreal, and Godot engines. It's all the same thing. And the next part is our license. So if you're making something that you don't want to be easily distributed across different platforms or specifically for people to just use without paying you, this is where you're going to set your license. I don't know much about that, but what I do know is the MIT license, which Godot is under, is a completely open source license. No one has to credit you specifically, but I think there's something in there that kind of legally bind someone to do something. I don't know. But anyway, if you want to make something that's open source, use the MIT license. But if you really don't care, you can use no license, like if it's a personal project. And after that, we're going to click create repository, and it's going to do a bunch of fun things and create a completely empty repository on our computer. Now you notice it's separated differently between like an unspecific one and our actual GitHub account, and that's because we haven't actually published the Git repository to GitHub. So before we do that, let's put our project in there so we don't just push an empty file. All right, so now we're in my Unity projects folder, and that's where I've created my repository. You see, it's just a normal folder, but if you go inside of it, it's got all the Git stuff we need in it. This hidden Git folder, some Git attributes, and this Git ignore, the same thing that prevents Unity from like doing a giant file dump in here. So with that known, and with our Git repository seen, all we have to do is just drag in our Unity project, Git Good here, right into the repository, and that's it. If we head back over to our GitHub desktop app here, you can see, boom, all of our files from the GitGo Unity project are now here. And after that, it's essentially the same process as just using Unity to collaborate. You want to add in your summary, so I'm going to call it first commit. And you can add in your description. I'm just going to say this is the Git version. And I'm going to click this thing called commit to main. And what that means is it's committing our file changes to the main branch of our GitHub repository. That's a whole other ball of wax, which I can explain in a later video if you guys want to see that, or I can link you to a video which probably has a much better explanation. But once that's done, all you have to do is click this right here, publish repository, and it's still called Git Good. This is where you can change your repository. It's your last chance. And you can add in the description, and you have this option here where you can keep the code private, which means that no one else has access to this repository or can see your code unless you give them access. And this is a really fun thing that the Microsoft acquisition gave us, because you used to have to pay for that. But once that's done, we can click publish repository. It's going to take a little bit to do that, or maybe not, since it's such a small repository. And that's it. So from now on, whenever you make a change in Unity, you can just come back here. I'll show you all your file changes, and you can just do the same process of committing it to the main branch and then eventually pushing it to the main branch, which is kind of different. Committing it is like solidifying the changes. Pushing it is like pushing the actual changes to the cloud. And from there, that's it, pretty much. You can click here to see the history, and you can see all your commits and see what changed across them. And this is kind of the benefit of using GitHub, besides the other benefits of having like multiple people working on here and just like a whole bunch of different customization options. But if you're working as a solo dev, it's really nice just to see what things have changed over time. And now here for some bonus content. Check this out. If you want dark mode, you can go up here to File. You can go down here to Options. You can click here on Appearance. You can set it either to dark mode, light mode, or your system theme. And that's gonna do it for us on this tutorial. We learned how to use GitHub Desktop and just GitHub in general. We learned how to use Unity Collaborate, and those are two super simple source control solutions to make sure you back up your project. 'Cause if you don't back up your project, you're essentially shooting yourself in the foot with a shark gun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll leave links to the description of everything we use here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, so the last little bit of bonus content I forgot to add: when you put your Unity project in your repository, it isn't going to show up in the hub anymore because it's a different file path. So instead, what you want to do is go to Add up here, navigate to your repository, find the Unity project folder, Git Good, select folder, and bam, there it is. All right, cool. That's the end of the video for real now. Hope you learned something. Okay, bye.